I'm Rebecca Lombardo, host of Vendor Vibes. Today, I'm here doing a special interview with my friends Lance and Elaine Stitcher from Seaside. Hi, guys.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. So, I would love to hear more about your company and your brand. Can you share a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Lance and I started Seaside Vacations in 2015 on a leap of faith, and we started with 0 properties, and we are now just under 500. Our markets are Ocean City, Maryland, and Chincoteague Island, Virginia. We've gotten incredibly selective, and we've turned away more than we've taken this year, and that trend will continue for sure. Has to be the right property and the right homeowner.
Okay, and then approximately how much staff?
Oh gosh,
26 full-time
all year.
in season. I think this year the most I saw on payroll was 146.
And that's between the two markets, 4 offices, cleaners, inspectors, and also our laundry facility.
Yes.
Right. Right.
But in Maryland, we do use cleaning vendors, so that
Mhm.
number's actually larger than life.
Understood. And your market conditions, are you guys summer, spring?
Yes. So in Ocean City, Maryland, it's incredibly seasonal. It's realistically mid-May to middle October, and then I'm not even sure why we're open in the wintertime.
Don't let anyone hear you say that.
In Chincoteague, even at the slowest time of year, we stay over 30% occupancy, but our core season is still that
Mhm.
May through October timeframe.
So this is the time of year that we spend reevaluating what vendors we're using, what we need, what we don't need anymore, what we can consolidate. So that's actually a lot of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, this year will be our first year. We'll tickle about 10,500 checkouts.
Wow. So
Tickle.
this is that's a big tickle. So at this size, it's got to be a very careful process of how you choose your partners, right? Like how you do this. So is there a systematic way that you guys choose vendors or how do you do it?
So there is, and we're usually solving for a problem. And we review our tech stack on an annual basis, but normally it comes to a breaking point where we have to make a decision on, is a problem best solved by adding people, or is the problem best solved by adding a piece of technology?
Exactly. And we've been around long enough now that we have so many industry friends. That's definitely a great resource. What do you guys do? Who do you use for this? How do you do this? And conferences, honestly, we found several new vendors recently at conferences that we didn't even know existed. So I know that's been a hot topic in our industry because I know it's getting more and more costly for vendors to be there, but we do appreciate you guys being there very much.
Yeah, and that's honestly why I started Vendor Vibes was because some of
Mhm.
the vendors can't afford to be there and but they have a great product. And so I thought, well, I'll just interview you and you have a video and you can share it out. So one concern I had with asking who other people use, do you ever worry that it's like maybe great for them, but not great for you? Or is that just kind of who should we consider?
So that's a lot to unpack right there. But I'll try to keep it short in that um, not every product is great for every person or is great for every company. In fact, I had a long conversation recently at Verma International about dynamic pricing tools. And honestly, they're all good tools. And it really comes down to what fits your needs, what solves your problems. And a lot of time at the end of the day, the decision as simple as Apple versus Android. It's what fits the user's eye the best in some cases.
Yes, I can totally see that comparison being true. And when you guys were walking the trade show floor, is it that you found them because you just happened to walk past them, or did someone walk over and introduce you to them or point them out?
Um, Really just walking past them. I mean, and some approached us or sought us out for sure. It was a little overwhelming with the larger than life displays that some of the larger vendors had, which I think is absolutely insane and just such a total waste, but that's a whole other thing. But no, just being there. And we actually even met a few vendors that were there that attended the conference that didn't have a display, and we were able to talk with them as well. So that's not a bad way to do it if you can't afford to, to do the display.
And
Yeah.
you guys have been in business long enough that you probably recognize, like you're walking around, you know your pain points at the top of, they're top of mind. Is that something you would advise other vacation rental managers to do as well? It's like just always be in sync with the rest of your team so you can be on the lookout.
Absolutely. We actually brought 4 members of our team this go around, and we all sat down as a group and talked to the other team members that were not coming to the conference. And we more or less came up with a hit list of issues that we wanted to try to solve when we were there. We sought out managers dealing with those same issues. We talked to the vendors that might be able to help us solve those issues. And it's always a great time to reconnect with people we currently work with. It's very easy to get wooed by the shiny object syndrome. But one of the most important things to us is that when we are working with someone, it's that relationship. It's that, keeping in touch, checking on us, maintaining that relationship. Lance and I could not be more loyal to the people we work with. But when, as some companies grow and you get less attention or you can't get the help you need, that's an issue as well.
Okay. So this is a question that I feel like a lot of people are dying to ask is, do you go online and search for vendors that solve X pain point? Is this ever a Google search for you? Or does this stick? Yeah, that's what I thought.
No,
Well,
no.
so
We'll pick the minds of our friends before doing something like that.
Elaine and I are incredibly different
Yeah,
people, and she doesn't do Google searches for that. But if you look at the search history on this Mac that I'm on right now,
you
I
do.
have been on plenty of vendors' websites in the past 2 weeks.
Interesting.
But are they vendors you already knew about and you just went to learn more? Because that's a little bit different than what she's asking.
But when I'm doing searches, I'll pull up things that I might not be 100% familiar with or may not have been directly looking for. So yes, it's effective on me. Obviously, it's only effective on half the people in this
Yeah.
conversation, but it works for me.
It's a good balance. So that was going to be another, kind of follow up is once you get their name or once they're on your radar, how do you vet them? Do you look at their website, talk to other clients?
All of that, as well as obviously, schedule a demo with them and ask some really hard questions. And like anything else in life, you want recommendations from people currently using them.
Yeah, references are incredibly important. I look at case studies, but most of the time they've been sweetened up by whoever's providing the case
Mhm.
study, but always looking for references.
Okay.
And for me anymore, it's as much about the people behind the product. I
Absolutely.
need to be able to relate to the people as much as I do the product because
Yeah.
there's 6 products to solve for any solution. But I mean, for me, we're in a people business on the property management end of thing where it's a relationship business with guests and with owners, and for me, it's also a relationship business on the vendor side.
100%.
Interesting. So does that need to be with the owner of the company or just like a point of contact with the company?
I think it depends. I really think it depends. Use Breezeway for example. We have a very tight relationship with all of them, but our operations manager, she has a different relationship with someone else that I probably almost never speak with, who is her go-to person. So I think it depends on the person.
Okay. So is there any advice you would give to other vacational managers who are kind of struggling with how to choose a vendor?
Yes. Lean on your network.
And if you don't have a network, build one.
If you don't have a network, build one. But there are plenty of people who've been around for a very long time who know pretty much everybody in the vendor showcase. And I may not know, I don't know everybody, but I've got 3 friends that do.
Mhm.
And so lean on your network because they will generally not steer you wrong.
May I throw in a recommendation to vendors that might help them?
Mhm.
Do your homework before you pick up the call or send the email, because y'all, that drives us crazy. We get calls all the time. A couple of times it's happened with vendors we were currently working with, but sometimes, the call or the email will come and it is quite clear that you have no idea who we are, how many properties we have. We did not talk at your booth at VRMA, and now you're trying to tell me that we did, and you're just catching up with me. Just you know what? It's like everything in our industry. Just be authentic.
Yeah, be genuine.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's all any of us ever really want.
yeah. Same goes for using LinkedIn.
Yeah, please, please. Echo that far and wide for sure. Are there any mistakes that you guys made when you chose a vendor where you're like, oh, next time we're not doing it that way?
Um,
Well, at the time, it might have fit us, and then as we grew, for instance, our after hour service, we used one for the last, I don't know, however many years. It fit us. It was really the best option in the industry at the time. And then Breezeway came out with Assist. That was a better option and fit what we needed better. So we moved to that. So it's not necessarily like the first one was a mistake. It's just like everything else in the world, things are getting, products are getting better, and what they offer, the offerings are getting better.
so there's two parts to that for me. Number one is you need to understand the full capabilities of the tech stack and the products that you currently have in place, because most of us are probably only using 50% of what's available. And as our vendor partners improve their product, we miss updates all the time.
Mhm.
I'm guilty of finding out a year or two later that this really cool feature has been available the entire
Yeah.
time and I didn't know it. Um, but from the property manager side of thing that's shopping for technology, before Seaside even existed, I was probably guilty of picking up a really great guest communications app, but without understanding the human capital that was required to really make it work for us. So we used that product for about 3 years, but we were never able to use it effectively because we didn't approach it from the right way in the very beginning.
So
So
growing pains, again,
yeah,
growing
you've
pains.
got to you've got to understand exactly, especially on the shiny object side of things. That wasn't a piece of technology that was critical to business. It had so much potential, but we didn't execute on executing, if that makes sense.
It does, and it happens, right?
Mhm.
I will say, from a vendor communication standpoint, marketers often feel like, oh, well, we said that, we already told them that, or we already got that out. And I have to go back and reiterate, they probably didn't see it, don't remember it. It wouldn't bother them at all if you sent it again as a friendly reminder, right? We think we're communicating, but because there's so much going on and so much drawing our
Right.
attention, that communicating it again has rarely been like annoying or a problem because it's relevant. It's just that there's a lot going on. So just happy to say it again. Same,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I also appreciate very much when someone we work with reaches out to, me personally via text or email and says, "Hey, we can do this and this and this now. Did you know? Did you miss the update? Let's just connect 2, 3, 4 times a year to see what's new." And, some of the vendors we currently work with probably have some things we should be doing, and we don't know about it because we've been so busy that we missed it.
Right.
So we're actually doing that with some of the people we work with this time of year.
And from the PM side, there's probably nothing more important at the end of the day than ongoing support.
Hmm.
Um,
Take care of your
I've
people.
to anonymize the conversation. I've got one piece of technology that we've been using for a long time, and if I have an issue, if something breaks on Sunday afternoon, I'll probably get an answer and pretty quick. And I've got another important piece of our tech stack that if something goes wrong on Sunday afternoon, I'll file a ticket, but I'm not going to
Yep.
hear anything until Tuesday.
If that. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a struggle.
Well, this has been incredibly helpful. Thank you guys so much for your time. I'll make sure to get this out. But I really, really, really want to thank you because there are a lot of other people that have wanted to have this conversation especially with experts like yourselves. So you're so generous to offer your time with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Oh,
for
thank
having
you.
us, my friend.
Oh,
And we're Lance and I are always here. We have so many people that have been so generous with their time and talent and, knowledge over the years. We truly are the first ones to say that's why we are where we are, and we are happy to do the same thing for others. We love it, as a matter of fact.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Okay.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.